Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and with me is Retro Nerd Girl.
Hi.
And we are coming back at you with yet another review of a throwback review of a trailer. Either way,
Yes.
it's from a movie so far back in the day that we've gotten kind of forgotten what trailers have been in the past.
Yeah. I don't
And
make them like this anymore.
no, no, the ones where they don't show you the whole darn movie. They just show you enough to kind of get you in the theater
Yeah.
to go and see it.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to be going over the trailer for Beverly Hills Cop, starring Eddie Murphy, that came out in 1984.
Yes.
Wow, I haven't seen Beverly Hills Cop in the longest time.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Was there like a sequel that came out recently? Think so.
Yeah, it
Like,
came out on Netflix. It was called Axel
yeah.
F.
Yeah. I didn't bother with that one. I don't know if it was good or not because I didn't hear great. Like I didn't hear anybody raving about it.
It was pretty it was pretty mid.
Okay.
It's like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was just kind of there.
Mm,
So it
okay.
was interesting. It was an interesting watch. I enjoyed
Okay.
watching it, but it wasn't, I don't know, it's never going to be the first Beverly Hills Cop, but there was enough stuff in there and enough callbacks to where
Mm.
it worked. If you are a fan of Beverly Hills Cop, you're probably gonna go and see that too on Netflix. It was fun, especially see Judge Reinhold, Billy.
Okay, yeah, okay. I will check it out. I did not see it, but I didn't hear and I didn't hear bad things about it either. But I didn't hear anything great about it. I didn't hear anybody say like you must go and see it. But I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait and see it whenever I can. So yeah,
Hmm.
now it's this is intriguing me. So
Well, this is the OG trailer. So without further ado, we're gonna break this trailer down.
mm.
Here we go.
What were you doing in California anyway? I was working. Working where? Beverly Hills.
This actor, I forgot his name, but he played a lot of the same kind of character.
Hmm. And between him, I loved him in this film. I'm blanking on the character's name, but yeah, Billy. And yeah, it was, oh God, I'm blanking out. Either way, eventually I'll catch up to me where I remember. But it starts out with, you know,
In New
the
York City, right?
Harold Faltermeyer um, soundtrack, that iconic synth that
Yes.
goes on. And I love it.
Oh,
It's
it was
so
so
darn
good.
80s, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, it was so good. The synthy sounds, I love I really love synth music, and that this was like peak 80s, synth music sound, that electronic, spacey sound. It's so
Hmm.
good. It felt like you were living in the future. I'm just saying.
Hmm. Yeah, because they had oh my gosh, you'd have Harold Faltermeyer with the synth sounds, Axel F, and then you had Herbie Hancock,
Yes.
who also had synth, but he added more of like scratching records and
Oh,
both of those two guys, I would have to say, just were like 80s music put like
oh,
all
yeah.
over them. But Axel F, this it's forever linked with Beverly Hills Cop and with Eddie Murphy. I love it.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mikey and his that's his buddy. And it's pretty obvious that like his buddy seems to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. Seems like a nice character. Like, a jolly character too.
Yeah, so kind of like when he gets hit like that, you're and this is just me, tell me if I'm wrong, you actually feel scared for this guy.
Yeah.
Because it's very obvious he and Axel are friends, and then you see this guy just starting to get beat up. And it's like, what the heck?
Yeah. And the sound too is like boom. I'm like, oh no, that hurt.
Yeah, we know that seriously hurt.
Yeah, he won't be right for like a week.
Oh
no.
Ain't no coming back from that. Dang. I did not expect a gunshot. I thought that they were just gonna rough him up, beat him up or whatever, but dang.
It's been a long time since I've seen this. That's hardcore.
And once again, here we got the black police chief in the triple-breasted.
And they're always like mad and pissed off.
Give me your guns and your badge now.
Yeah.
I love it though.
If I ask around a little bit, don't do a damn thing. Stay out of this.
Oh, look at how young Eddie Murphy is. He's so young.
Look at him. Oh my gosh.
He's a baby.
What was he like, 22, 23?
Yeah, he's so young.
Man. Whew. I mean, he still looks good, but it's just like damn, he's like baby face almost here. Oh my goodness. Got chewed out. I love it. But you know, if he stays, if he doesn't get into it, there's no movie. We already know that, right?
Yeah.
So let's see.
This is the cleanest and nicest police car I've ever been in my life. This thing's nicer than my apartment.
Cartier.
This is so true. When I first drove through Beverly Hills, I was just like, there's a place like this that exists. It is unlike any other city I've ever been to. Even in Los Angeles, when you're in Beverly Hills because the landscape changes, the shops change, you're driving on Rodeo, there's like Cartier, Gucci, just all of that. Just roll down the window and smell the money. It is it is insane. It's like, for example, you can drive through West Hollywood. West Hollywood's kind of like freaky. But it has like that LA grit, I would say, to it. Soon as you cross into Beverly Hills, it's like gorgeous trees, perfect landscaping. Like, wow, what did I just walk into?
My goodness.
So I totally get it. So when he's talking about this is the nicest police car I've ever been in, yeah, because that's Beverly Hills. It's not Detroit, so little different.
I just got off the phone with an Inspector Todd in Detroit. He says if you're out here investigating the Tandino murder.
How you doing?
Did you see the Thriller jacket?
No. Where was it?
I want to say.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yes. That was You had to have one of those in like 1984.
In a way, he's looking, it's just like, man, y'all wearing that out in public.
Oh man.
Just his observation, and that's also another thing about Beverly Hills Cop 4 is that when he goes back to Beverly Hills, it's the same yet different. When he's looking around, and it's all the callback to when he first got there. It's just so funny. And this is oh my gosh,
is it Keenan? One of the Keenan brothers?
Damon Wayans.
Oh, okay.
This is Damon Wayans right here, who plays a pretty flamboyantly gay server at the hotel. He's so funny.
Those boys, they've been doing stuff for a long time and they still look good. I mean, I can't even believe it.
They look so darn good.
I just got off the phone with an Inspector Todd in Detroit. He says if you're out here investigating the Tandino murder.
How you doing?
Oh yeah. Also, Eddie Murphy made that Mumford Phys Ed department shirt one of the most popular T-shirts to
Yeah.
have. If I remember correctly, when this movie came out and he wore that shirt, people were trying to order it, I guess from the actual school, Mumford School, and they couldn't keep up with the demand.
Wow.
And people wanted a Mumford Phys Ed department T-shirt. So again, another little thing about, pop culture. People see a Mumford Phys Ed shirt, they know that's from Beverly Hills Cop for the
Yeah, I mean,
most
and
part.
this is why a lot of brands want to sponsor these movies, and because they know they're going to get that kind of exposure. Oh, you're wearing, a polo T-shirt or whatever that's blue. Okay, now you'll get a flood of people asking for that particular shirt because of the association with the movie.
Mhm.
And today it's the same, but it's a little bit different. I mean, it's still like the same influence,
Mhm.
that's happening, and that's why I always am fascinated by these little things.
Mhm. Yeah, this was one of those where it's like you had to have it. Like, I just had to have that T-shirt. I love it. And it's another T-shirt that, like, when you go to, like, say, Hot Topic, they always got this T-shirt usually.
Oh, yeah.
That one, it's one of those staples.
You needn't bother coming back.
Ronnie
Oh,
Cox.
yes.
Haven't the slightest idea.
That was funny seeing Ronnie Cox as
Yeah.
the Beverly Hills PD. Oh my gosh, Chief of Police.
Who you're dealing with.
Oh, yes.
Like, all three of us are cops. We should be working together.
This movie, it with Eddie Murphy with Axel Foley, and he's got like the two cops with him that he's like stuck with.
Yeah.
You, it's like you can watch it and just see, oh, this is going to be some funny stuff going
Yeah.
down.
We've seen a couple of bananas, so I know there's a banana in a tailpipe
Mm-hmm.
joke somewhere.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're gonna make this trailer. We're gonna put all the bananas in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Cover me. Wait! You're all under arrest!
Billy.
That is not the way to do it.
No, they don't care. They don't care about your badge at
Yeah.
all.
You do that again, I'll shoot you myself.
Now that's Taggart. I believe I got that right. I think, let's see which one. Yeah, that's Sergeant Taggart. So in Beverly Hills Cop 4, he's the Beverly Hills Chief of Police.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He got a raise.
Hmm. Yeah, so when Axel goes back, it's like, yeah, how's Taggart doing? It's like, ask Billy. But yeah, it's like the classic case of like the green cop and then the cranky seasoned seasoned cop.
Yes.
Perfect how they all play off each other.
Oh, so good.
Now, please time take a drink, a wine, a cocktail.
Oh, this
Bronson Pinchot.
this
Acted.
is so hilarious. It is super, super hilarious.
Freaking love him in this. I think this was oh my gosh. What show was he? Was it Perfect Strangers?
I wasn't perfect. I'm not sure if it was
With
perfect. He was
Bronson
from. He
Pinchot?
was Valcar or something.
Yeah,
He was from
Balky.
Valky from.
And I think it was Bronson Pinchot because he plays Surge in this
Mhm.
movie. And I swear it was, I'm like looking at IMDb while I'm talking about it. I could have swore it was no, not the Wild Thornberries. I think it was Perfect Stranger. Yes, it was. Yes,
A
it was
Perfect
Perfect
Stranger.
Strangers because they had the now we do the dance of joy. It was so corny, but I loved seeing him in this mini series because he was in it for quite a long time. That
Yeah.
show ran from 86 to 93.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I remember, it wasn't like my favorite show, but anytime it was on, it was always a lot of fun to watch those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a trip.
That was so
You got
darn
your
funny.
American and your
Mhm.
foreigner
Yeah, I think he was
roommate.
great. Yeah. So I think this movie came out a year after Perfect Stranger. So
Mm,
one of the best cameos ever.
right.
Espresso? No, I'm fine, thank you. I'll make it myself right back there with a little lemon twist. It's good.
I love Serge.
He's great.
And,
It's great.
and Eddie Murphy has a perfect look like we don't do this in Detroit, you
Now,
know.
I heard that they just improvised this scene. Like they totally just improvised this, like the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can believe that because they're both comedy actors. So that's even cooler that they improvise this because this scene is so darn funny when they first meet each other.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Iconic.
I need that. I need that on 4K. I really do.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This so now that you've seen the trailer,
Mhm.
if you had never seen this movie before, what sticks out in this trailer most in your mind that would make you want to see the film?
Well, if we can time travel back to when it was when I really did see it for the first time. Eddie Murphy was so huge because he was on Saturday Night Live and one of the funniest people on that show.
Mm-hmm.
And he had done like a few movies before, but he didn't. This was gonna be him, and it was gonna really showcase what he could do, and it was fantastic. Like the hype was incredible. So as far as like when I said back then, his popularity and the promise we had at the time was just that this incredible comedian was going to be in a comedy crime drama uh,
Mm-hmm.
slash comedy action possibly in it, and it was like, yep, I'm in. I'm in. And when can we get there? And of course, my mom took me to see this in the theater, to see this movie, and it was really good. And everybody was talking about how good it was. You got great music in the trailer, so the music's going to be great. Also, MTV was happening at this time, so all the songs that were in the trailer and were also playing on MTV and over and over and over again. So
That's
you're
right.
and you're little clips of the movies and these music videos. So you're like really hyped to see this movie. It was a great combination of using those two elements, and it just there was just all this energy and hype, if you will, that to get people to want it. It was as part of the everyday thing. You just wanted to go see this movie, and of course, just delivering on the promise was and from all the reviews from everybody was just incredible. Today, I'm not sure if this kind of if I was somebody who never experienced any of that and watching the trailer, I still would get kind of like, okay, there's a mystery thriller going on. Who are these
Mm.
guys that went after his friend Mikey? There's a whole bunch of comedy stuff going on. You can see, Eddie Murphy reacting to these things and doing his classic, laugh, like whatever that laugh is.
The
Remember that?
goose laugh.
Yeah, and then I was like, so you're like, okay, I've got to see this, even if you're not familiar with anything. This is Eddie Murphy at his prime, and doing this movie that
Mhm.
really has a really great following. Like almost everybody says how much they really like this movie. I don't think it's going on anybody's top 10 favorite movie list. Not, I wouldn't say totally. There may be a few people out there, but
Mhm.
it's not like expected to. But you're gonna watch this, and it looks like you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna see an action adventure movie with some comedy, and that's a formula that the '80s mastered.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, very, very well said. Again, I wasn't allowed to watch an Eddie Murphy movie. No, I was not. There's no way my parents are going to take me to go see an Eddie Murphy movie because in their mind, Eddie Murphy was worse than Red Fox. So they would not take me. So yet again, I'm off of college, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch Eddie Murphy Delirious. I'm
Yes.
gonna watch Eddie Murphy Raw back to freaking back. And Beverly Hills Cop was in the middle. Was middle of that. I think Delirious was 83. I watched that like on cable, and oh my gosh, I was in stitches. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, Beverly Hills Cop, how is he going to play this? And you can tell he still got that comedic edge, but it's a little
Yes.
bit more with the drama. But because of Eddie Murphy's popularity on Saturday Night Live, I think
Mm.
that whole class, that I want to say that first class in Saturday Night Live, they left Saturday Night Live and had crazy popular
Yeah.
movie careers
Yeah.
for the most part. So just that I would say just that catalog and that notoriety that Eddie Murphy had already built up. You have the people who are just like, you know what, I'm an Eddie Murphy fan, so
Yes.
I just
But
watch him go drive a bus and crack
yeah. Yeah.
crack
Yeah.
and crack jokes and yeah. So
Yeah.
watching the trailer, like you said, there's this mystery
Yeah.
that needs to be solved. And it's like we gotta find out. We gotta find out what's going on with Mikey.
Yeah.
So
Mikey likes it,
mhm.
not this one. He doesn't like it.
Mm. So even if so looking at the trailer again, it's like it's the mystery that gets you wrapped up. The
So,
obvious fish out of water
yeah.
where you have this Detroit cop who is in one of the strangest places in the country and seeing, you know, how he's caught, he's making waves. It's just like, oh, this is gonna be funny. We're gonna have to see that.
Yeah.
Um, one of the other things that stands out about Beverly Hills Cop, and I remember way, way, way back in the day when you had Siskel and Ebert,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
together. All
Yeah.
right. I remember, I think when they reviewed 48 Hours. No, not 40. Was it 48 Hours? Yeah, they reviewed Trading Places, and no, 48
Oh,
Hours is what I remember because I believe it was Roger Ebert where he was just like, Eddie Murphy is so talented. I don't see why he doesn't have his own movie. You need to stop playing it safe and giving him
ooh.
equal billing with, with a white actor just because you won't cast him by himself. And the next year, that's when Beverly Hills Cop came out, and Eddie
Interesting.
Murphy became a box office sensation.
Oh, yeah. And I think at that time, he could have been in any movie. He just was gonna do it like that. Those early years, he just really had a knack for just being in these movies and having his like flavor of comedy, and then the serious thing would show up. And you have movies like Golden Child that didn't do so great,
Mhm.
but still was memorable. I mean, it's a still like, anybody who watched that movie, you can say, "Give me the knife," and they will know exactly what you're talking about. There's those like still iconic moments from that movie, and still iconic, Eddie Murphy moments in there, still delivering the comedy and all that. It's I think when it gets to be a little bit difficult was when we get to like the 90s and the early aughts, where there's like more CGI and more goofy stuff that was going on. But like the 88, Coming to America, I think that was his pinnacle. That was his pinnacle. But like, anything from 80 to or 83, we'll say 83
Mhm.
to 88 was, I think, his like those were his hot years, you know.
Yeah, it's like he seemed to be in everything. Everything he touched turned to gold. After that, it's kind of like, I'm not can kind of pick and choose what I want to do, and whatever he was in, it's like the folks were Eddie Murphy fans. It's like, okay, I guess I'll go check it out. Even stuff that's not so good, like The Golden Child,
Yeah.
or not so good, like Coming to America too.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh Lord, that was bad. But one-offs like Harlem Nights,
Yeah,
which
Harlem
brought
Nights.
back so many. I mean, you had Della Reese and Red Fox in the same
I mean,
room. Oh
stop
my
it. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. That was a great one. And then he did some I'm not sure, he did a lot of the like the Nutty Professor one.
Yeah.
And then he did Norbit, which I wasn't really a big fan of that storyline.
Yeah.
But then he did the Mansion, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. Uh,
Same.
to enjoy it. And then
Same.
there's one other, really probably the one movie that people would say is like his worst movie is definitely is Pluto, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, but that's a guilty pleasure of mine. Um, and Rosario Dawson is in that one, and it's like it's totally like cuckoo, the storyline and everything, but it's still,
Mhm.
it's up my crazy alley. And then the other one is Vampire in Brooklyn, which I enjoyed.
Ooh, I
I
like Vampire in
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
I enjoyed that one. So yeah, it's kind of weird. He's had some weird footing afterwards, but definitely, the stuff where he did in the 80s really allowed him the ability to then say, okay, well, I want to make a movie and I want to make
Mhm.
this movie. I want to make, and like, come on, like, Coming to America with all of the makeup changes he
Oh
did,
my
the
god.
characters he played, along with Arsenio Hall, man,
Mhm.
they really blew the socks off of everybody. So, I think at that point he could ask for any movie that would, everybody would get, any studio would give it to him because
Mhm.
of his star power and the fact that he makes these really incredible movies, you know.
Speaking of guilty pleasures, like one of my guilty pleasures is Daddy Daycare. That movie is so freaking funny. Angelica Huston is in it.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh man, you just put it on. It is so darn
Wait.
funny. This Eddie Murphy, he plays like this marketing executive.
Uh-huh.
And one day he was just like, he gets what is it? He wound up getting fired from his was it laid off? I think he got laid off from his job. And he's like looking for work. His wife wound up, because his wife was a lawyer, she wound up going to work instead of him. And he's just like, I
Oh.
need something to do. And somebody says, you know what? I'd pay for somebody to just watch my kid. And he's just like, yes,
Huh.
his other friend who got laid off along with him. He's just like, why don't we start a daycare? And you're like, what? It's like, who? It's like you see, like mostly women running daycares. Why don't we do like a daddy daycare? And there's like this learning curve where they're learning what to do and they're running their daycare. It
Oh.
is so darn funny.
I
They had
wanna
a
see that.
wrestling match between like a piece of broccoli and a carrot. It's
Oh my
it's
goodness.
it's so funny. It's such a cute, heartfelt movie. I mean, it's it's more of a family film, but still you can see the comedy touches that like Eddie Murphy puts in there. So of course, there's that one
Yeah.
that I
All right.
absolutely
It's on my
love.
list. I'm gonna try to
Mhm.
watch it.
And of course, one of the ultimate roles for Eddie Murphy, which of course is a donkey from Shrek.
I didn't even think of that one. Yes. I mean, and the dragon from Mulan. Yes.
Mhm.
And those are, I don't know, for some reason, him doing those voices, which is basically the same crazy character.
Yes.
If you really think about it, it's just so entertaining and fun. Just 100% fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love Donkey.
I love Donkey. Oh my goodness. His character that is just so Eddie Murphy that that
Absolutely.
it just that's why his character was so darn popular. But looking at this throwback trailer, it just reminds me of just Eddie Murphy's star power. And you can see that it's just there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
looking back, it's like, you know what, this was when it really kicked off, when
Yeah.
he got his own movie, and not only did it get his own movie, but the movie made freaking money hand
Yes.
over
Yes. Yeah.
fist.
And this was sort of the trajectory of, a lot of his predecessor, you know, we had Bill Cosby, who was started off as a comedian and went
Mhm.
into his own like movies and TV shows. And then before then, there was oh my God, his name is on the tip of my tongue. Um, uh, 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 a comedian from the 70s, Richard Pryor, there we go.
Mhm.
Richard Pryor did the same thing where he started off, as, comedian of some of the really most insane comedic shows ever, and then branched off into acting, and that was a lucrative career with a lot of different ideas for stories that was kind of spin off of just like him being himself. And so this whole continuation of yet another comedian going into the field of doing a movie, not always successful as we've seen over the years for Saturday Night Live alums, right?
Mhm.
But he managed to do it at the pinnacle of his career at Saturday Night Live, and it was it turned out he was actually good at it, and he was actually funny, and he could
Mhm.
act when it was time for him to get serious, he could pull that off, and, and I think his the one movie that really felt like it was the biggest test of all was Trading Places, and he was excellent in that, excellent.
Mhm. He was so good in that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just you just see this fresh-faced comedian who
Mhm.
just wanted to, get entertain, and he gets the opportunity to do that, uh, and roles that are allow him to become, likable, that, like, actually no, not we're not just playing on the fact that he's funny, but also that he can uh, have an arc within his character that he could play that off. Because a lot of people just when they make comedies, they think that it's just let's just make jokes throughout the entire thing and not really connect it
Mhm.
to a story, and our character stays the same throughout the whole thing. No, I mean, that barely works, for
Mhm.
everybody. I mean, maybe the Pink Panther you could do say like, but this is like, America's cinema needs like we need to feel something. Eddie Murphy was able to pull that off. At some point later on in his career, he did have more writing teams that helped to write things more towards his flavor. But I think
Mm.
what happens is that sometimes it doesn't always connect in the way that that actually is. gonna connect with the audience, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very interesting how these things work. Like for years, I thought uh, Chappelle was doing his show just on his own. He had lots and lots of writers to, and I was like, and it was all like brilliant stuff. So you do need more than just yourself involved in like sculpting stuff. You need more an outside source to say, okay, right now we need
Mm-hmm.
to settle down this thing and whatever. But I did watch Candy Cane Lane,
I did too.
and I liked it.
I
I
did
did.
too.
I really did. It's now part of my collection of movies that I watch every year. So yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that one I was pleasantly surprised by. Me and Camera Girl watched it. She was like, "This is so good."
It's good. Oh my god. Okay, so tell me that tree was like thick. I was like, where can I get that tree? They need
I
to make
know.
that as a product that you could buy.
It
Even
was
if they
so
do like a small one that fits on your table, it was
it
beautiful.
was amazing. That just uh I tell you, it's like we can talk about Eddie Murphy movies all day because that's just how big of a catalog he
Yeah,
has. But
yeah.
this film right here is the one that rocketed him straight into being as bankable of a star as, like, say, Tom Cruise, but
Yes.
with his own style, that unique Eddie Murphy style, which we're gonna see when we do the watch party for Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop on my
Woo!
channel. So
I
the
can't
video
wait.
premiere of this one is gonna go route you right over to that watch party. Cannot wait. I haven't seen this movie in so long. I just, again,
It's not long.
the
Yeah.
80s had just some kick-ass fun. Grab your popcorn and we're just gonna have a good old time.
Yes. Oh my god. I can't wait. I can't wait.
uh,
The part I can't wait is to laugh because I know this is funny.
mm-hmm.
This is really, really, really funny. So I can't wait to laugh. And thank you for asking such really cool questions about this trailer because it really took me back in my DeLorean there for a minute and to remember. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, he was a big deal back then. It's just kind of nice to remember how incredibly influential and um, what a big star he became and was around that time, and all the materials that helped to showcase that, like even music videos. It was just great.
Yeah, it's why I love doing these throwback reviews because it makes you think, like, since we could go back to the future, so to speak. And for
Yeah.
those of you who were like, "Who is this Eddie Murphy person?" Okay, well, now you know.
Yes.
So so folks, please do make sure you're subscribed to Retro Nerd Girl and
Okay.
subscribe to me. And we cannot wait to see you guys at our watch party for
Yes.
Beverly Hills Cop. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.